Hello, hello. Welcome back to the mat, my friends, and welcome to a breath awareness practice. We often take the breath for granted. It sort of happens on its own, so we don't really need to think about it too much. But it's amazing how often the breath reflects our emotions or our mental state. And the beautiful thing about that is that the breath can also shape our emotions and our mental state. And when we can sort of become aware of that connection between the breath and emotion, then we come a little bit closer to being able to control our emotional responses through the use of the breath. And so, as always, the yoga practice is sort of the laboratory for life, right? So we come to the mat and it is a practice, not just of the poses and of the shapes and the breathing that happens on the mat, but I like to think of it as practice for life off of the mat. So we'll practice that here today, finding that awareness of breath and emotion, connecting breath to the movement, and hopefully you can take that off your mat today as well. You should not need any prompts necessarily. As always, if there are prompts that you like to have handy, please feel free to have them near your mat. If you have not joined our online community, click the link in the description below. You'll get every week's brand new class emailed directly to you, as well as access to my resource library that has some yoga sequences and journaling worksheets. And if you'd like to support the channel and the making of more classes like these, please consider joining me on Patreon. There are various membership tiers that you can join, and they all have different goodies that you get from me on a monthly basis. So please do check that out. That link is also in the description below. Alrighty, go ahead and grab any prompts you'd like to have handy, unroll your mat, and we're going to begin here in a tall seat. All right, my friends, come on into a tall, comfortable seat. Any shape in the legs that feels best for you today. Really any seat that allows you to sit with a nice long spine. Feeling yourself sort of plug in through the sitting bone, so rooting down through your seat, and then nice length up the spine. And if it feels okay for you today, you can invite the eyelids to close. And if that doesn't feel quite right, you can gently lower the gaze towards the earth, starting to bring your attention inward. And begin to breathe with intention here. Deepening and slowing your breaths. And as you settle into this moment of stillness, notice where your mind goes. And when your mind leaves this moment, this room that you're in, simply notice that and gently return your attention back to your intentional breath. And take 2 more big breaths here. and stay connected to your breath as you gently begin to open the eyes and start to make your way into a child's pose. So you choose if you'd like to keep the legs close together, or if you'd prefer to open the knees wide, allowing the torso to come down over the legs, the forehead onto the mat. And then lift your head slightly just off the mat and walk the hands all the way over to the left side. Feel a big stretch down the right side of your body. You can sort of reach the hips back in space as you reach through right fingertips. And then walk the hands through center all the way over to the other side. Hips pulling back, reaching through the left side. Imagine that you could send your breath all the way down the side of the body, making a bit more space. And then coming all the way back to center and coming up into a tabletop position. Hands and knees. And we're going to move into some twists with the breath. So as you inhale, lift the right arm all the way up to the sky. Open the chest towards the right side. And as you exhale, you're going to thread the right arm underneath the left, but you're going to just hover it above the earth. And then inhale, open the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, hover the right arm above the earth. One more like this. Inhale to open. Exhale, thread right arm under left, and this time bring the arm all the way onto the earth. So the right shoulder comes onto the earth, the right side of the head comes onto the earth, coming into your twist. Left hand can stay where it is in front of the face, or you can extend the arm towards the front of your mat. Maybe you come into a half bind. You choose the variation that feels right for you in this moment. If you took a variation, bring the left hand back in front of the face, press into the palm as you undo your twist, lifting the right arm back up to the sky, and then release right hand to the earth. Coming into the other side, left arm lifts, inhale. Exhale, thread the arm, hover it above the earth. Inhale as you open left arm to the sky, and exhale to hover. One more, inhale, open. Exhale, thread the left arm, and this time bring the shoulder, the arm to the earth, left side of the head to the earth. Take the variation with the right arm that you took on the other side. And if you took a variation with the right arm, bring the right hand back in front of the face, press into the palm, undo your twist, left arm to the sky. And then bring left hand onto the earth. You can start to move through some cat-cows here. As you inhale, open the heart forward and up, lifting the tailbone. And as you exhale, round the spine, puff up the back, chin towards the chest. Inhale to arch. Exhale, round. Take one more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Come through neutral spine and then make your way into downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting knees and hips. You can pedal out the feet here if that feels good. Checking in with calves and hamstrings. Coming into a smooth, steady breath. And then begin to walk the feet up to the top of your mat. Find hip width distance between the feet, maybe just a smidge wider than hip width distance. Allow the torso and head to hang heavy. Feel free to bend the knees as much as feels good here, and maybe finding a gentle sway of your torso. And then coming to center. As you inhale, bend the knees really deeply. Bring your seat really low towards the ground, coming into a sort of a squat. And as you exhale, lift the hips high and fold over the legs again. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, lower your seat, lift the heart. And as you exhale, lift the hips, fold over legs. Let's take one more like that. Inhale, drop the hips. And exhale, fold. Awesome. From here, go ahead and take the left leg way back, or the left foot way back. And we're setting up for a high lunge. So as you feel steady, lifting the torso, lifting the arms. Bending into the right leg, keeping the lower belly firm, so pubic bone up towards the navel. Take an inhale here, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, twist to the right, open the arms towards the front and back of your mat. Inhale, come back to center, lift the arms by the ears. And exhale, twist to the right, opening the arms. One more like this. Inhale, center. And exhale, twist to the right, and this time stay right here. See if you can stay with a smooth, steady breath. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bring the left hand onto the earth as the right arm reaches towards the sky, so twisting towards the right leg. From here, really press the earth away with the left arm. Start to come onto the outside edge of the left foot and heel toe the right foot towards the center of your mat. Once you have that here, lift the hips high towards the sky as the right arm reaches up, maybe turning your gaze up towards the right fingertips if that feels okay on your neck. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bring the right hand onto the earth and step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk the feet up to the top of your mat. And then from here, take the right foot way back. We're setting up for our high lunge on the other side. So set up the legs, and as you feel steady, lift the torso and lift the arms. So even as we are moving through the poses, exerting effort, see if you can keep the breath consistent here. Smooth and steady. Take a big inhale. Exhale, twist to the left, opening the arms. Inhale to center, lift the arms high. Exhale, twist to the left. One more inhale. And exhale, twist. This time stay. One more inhale. As you exhale, right palm comes to the earth as the left arm reaches to the sky. Big twist to the left. Now really begin to press the earth away with the right arm. Come onto the outside edge of the right foot as you heel toe the left foot to the center of your mat. Lift the hips high to the sky, coming into this side plank variation, maybe lifting the gaze towards the left fingertips. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring left hand to the earth and take the left foot back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Walk the feet up to the top of your mat. Bring the big toes together to touch. Bend the knees really deeply. Sit the hips down low. Lift the arms and the torso, finding Utkatasana chair pose. So keeping the weight in the heels, sort of pulling the shins back in space, if that makes sense. And gently pulling the pubic bone towards the navel so that the lower belly is firm and the lower back is nice and long. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to lower the torso halfway and the arms are going to reach towards the back of your mat, half chair. Inhale, lift the torso, lift the arms. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, lift back up. Utkatasana chair pose. As you exhale, sit a little lower in the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, sit a little lower. Inhale. Exhale, come down a little lower and onto your seat. From here, we come into Navasana chair pose, or not chair pose, boat pose. Make sure you're sitting up on your sitting bones and not sort of rolling back on your tailbone. Hands come behind the thighs, lifting the heart up towards the sky. So really lifted chest, long spine. Begin to lean back as you lift the feet up off of the earth. The shins can stay parallel. The hands can stay behind the thighs here to support you. And if you feel super steady, maybe you release the arms next to the legs. And if that feels good, maybe you straighten the legs. Notice the breath. See if you can keep it nice and smooth, nice and steady. And if you notice that it's getting kind of ragged or fast or sort of out of control, then that's your cue to sort of pull back and find the variation that allows the breath to be smooth and steady. One more breath here. And then release the legs to the earth. From here, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So again, making sure we're sitting up on sit bones. If you find that you are rounding in the spine, sort of rolling back, bring a blanket or a towel or a small cushion under your seat so that you can sit up nice and tall. 2 straight legs, flex the feet back towards you. As you inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, think about reaching the heart towards the feet. Feel free to bring a little bend into the knees if this feels like too much on the hamstrings. With each inhale, find a bit more length in the spine. And with each exhale, maybe lower a little bit more. So anytime that we find a moment of stillness, of quiet, so in these more restful poses, this is an opportunity to come back to that same intentional breath that we started our practice with. And let's take one more breath here. And then gently begin to lift the torso up. And from here, go ahead and come onto your back, bringing the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in. And then go ahead and drop both knees over to the left-hand side, maybe scooching the hips over to the right. The knees come to the left. Keep the right shoulder on the earth. Maybe the gaze comes over to the right side. Coming into a supine twist. And then lifting the knees to center. And you can scooch the hips over towards the right, or the left rather, as you drop the legs over to the right. Keeping left shoulder on the earth, maybe the gaze comes towards the left side. And then lifting back up to center. From here, we're going to come into a supine gomukhasana. So you're going to lift the knees towards the chest-ish, and then stack the right knee on top of the left. So you want the knees stacked one directly on top of the other, and you want the legs to point straight out to either side. So the right leg the right foot is going to be pointing out to the left side, and the left foot is pointing out to the right side. Now bring the knees really in close to the chest, and then take hold of your shins or calves, maybe ankles, maybe feet, and start to pull the legs towards the earth. So the right thigh is going to be pressed up against your torso, and the legs are pointing out to either side as you gently pull them towards the earth. So if you've got the right knee stacked on top of the left, you should feel a pretty big stretch along the outer right hip in this shape. And then gently release. Switch the legs, so bringing left knee stacking on top of the right. Bring the legs into the chest really close. The right foot's going out to the left foot's going out to the right. Take hold of shins, ankles, maybe feet, and gently pull the legs towards the earth. So here we've got a big stretch at the outer left hip, sort of like the left glute here as well. And then gently releasing, coming into a happy baby, taking hold of inside or outside edges of the feet, gently pulling the feet towards the earth. And if there are any final movements that your body's craving before we find stillness in Savasana, feel free to hit pause and take whatever that is. And if you are ready for Shavasana, come on with me. You'll extend the legs long, feet about as wide as your mat, maybe wider if you'd like. The arms will rest by the sides of the body with the palms turned up towards the sky. Go ahead and take a big breath in, filling up the belly. Open the mouth, let it go. Take 2 more like that. Big breath in. Release. 1 more big breath. And let it go. Now here you can let go of your breath having to do anything at all. Simply allow it to move in and out of the body. And if you have more time for Savasana, please do stay. Otherwise, start to bring some gentle movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Extend the arms long overhead. Take a nice long stretch. And then bring soles of your feet flat onto your mat and turn onto the side of your choice. And using the top hand to help press you up, make your way into a tall seat. Sitting up nice and tall, rooting down through sitting bones, finding length through the spine. Take a moment to drop into your breath. Notice the quality of your breath here at the end of this practice. And at the same time, notice your emotional and mental state at the end of this practice. Notice how the two are connected. Bringing the palms a touch at heart center. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead you in this practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining me here for this breath awareness practice. I will meet you right back here on the mat next time.